we are into this together. It's now essential that the response in Jordan shifts towards a longer-term approach. And I see that this is also the thinking of Jordan. And this is the focusing of our discussion in this meeting. The Resilient Development Forum to be held here in Amman on next week will be very important in this context. And my dear colleague Commissioner Hahn plans to attend as representative of the European Union. In the meantime, it's very important that we work together to ensure decent life for refugees with education, healthcare, and access to livelihood. We are highly aware of Jordan's need for structural and long-term help, and this is a subject of discussion with my colleagues in the External Relations team at the Commission. And I think it's our commitment to continue together with the Jordanian government to make the difference on the ground for refugees and of course for the host communities, and of course to support Jordanian government in this very special strategic plan for the next 2 years. Thank you so much again.
Well, Commissioner Stylianides, allow me to welcome you again in Jordan. You have been a very committed representative of the EU as the EU Commissioner for Humanitarian and Aid and Crisis Management in terms of always visiting, looking on the ground, and assessing continuously the changes that are taking place within Jordan, within the region, and the spillover that is taking place now into Europe. On behalf of the government of Jordan, we welcomed the Commissioner. We discussed and assessed where we are today on the humanitarian interventions in terms of the Syrian refugees and the spillover of the Syrian crisis into Jordan. On behalf of the government, on the people of Jordan, I extended the gratitude of Jordan to the continued strategic, historic partnership we hold with the European Union, and the European Union continues to stand by us all the time in full partnership, continuously re-evaluating to see what Jordan needs and how could we help Jordan more to continue its resilience, continue playing its pivotal role in the region as a stability point, as a main contributor to peace, security, and stability within our region and to the world, actually. I thanked the Commissioner for all the aid on the humanitarian level that has been received, and we thank him today for the additional announcement of providing more resources this year, 28 million euros within the 2015. I shared also with the Commissioner the new Jordanian response plan for 2016-2018 that is aimed at providing the Jordanian framework that was prepared, integrated framework that combines host community, humanitarian, and resilience needs put into an integrated framework. We moved from a 1-year plan to a 3-year plan in recognition of the protracted nature of the crisis, and to be better prepared to have a medium-term planning framework to deal with both the humanitarian needs as well as the host community needs and the national resilience needs, so that Jordan can sustain playing the well-appreciated role and the well-commended role by the international community in terms of how we're dealing with the crisis. We coordinated also the positions in terms of the upcoming Resilience Development Forum that will take place next week. This is a very critical international event that will take place in Jordan to look at new ways, innovative ways to support the resilience of key countries that are hosting refugees. And we also discussed the calendar of events that is coming up that will lead to an early February new international donor event that will be hosted in London by the UK, Norwegian, German and Kuwaiti governments to look at the new resource needs to support the effort of dealing with the Syrian refugees. From the Jordanian point of view, I emphasized to the Commissioner that Jordan is truly at a saturation point in terms of our abilities to sustain and continue doing the role that we are doing. We are at saturation point from a fiscal point of view because of the debt burden we have assumed to deal with the repercussions of this crisis, because of the underfunding in terms of covering the growing needs, and we're very grateful for all the additional help, but the needs are outpacing the additional support that Jordan is receiving. We are also at a saturation point because we are at the maximum vulnerability point for both the Syrian refugees being housed in Jordan, as well in terms of the vulnerability of the host communities, because they have been 4 years under pressure in terms of the public services regression, unemployment pressure, poverty pressures increasing, and so on, because 92% of the Syrians in Jordan, the 1.4 million, of which only 630,000 are registered refugees, happen to be living in all our towns and villages, so they're all over this nation. Only 8% are in refugee camps, which means that they are displacing, affecting the economy of Jordan, both positively and negatively, but in a way that is increasing the burdens on the Jordanian public. So Jordan is emphasizing the need of a three-pillar approach, new approach. One, an approach that can create job opportunities for both host communities and refugees in a way that doesn't displace Jordanians. A second pillar, to support the concessionary financing need of the government of Jordan. And the third pillar is to focus on adequately financing the Jordan response plan for the next 3 years, especially the host community and the resilience components, so that we continue to do what we're doing. Commissioner, if you allow me, I'll just say a few things in Arabic. اسمحوا لنا أن نرحب بكل الزملاء الإعلاميين من كل المحطات في وزارة التخطيط والتعاون الدولي. نحن اليوم استقبلنا المفوض لشؤون مساعدات الإنسانية وإدارة الأزمات للاتحاد الأوروبي كوميشنر ستايليانيدس والوفد المرافق. هذه ليست الزيارة الأولى، ونحن على تنسيق مستمر كأردن كحكومة معه ومع زملائه في الاتحاد الأوروبي، كون الاتحاد الأوروبي شريك تنموي رئيسي للمملكة الأردنية الهاشمية. طرحنا اليوم في مباحثاتنا الوضع القائم حاليا من تبعات الأزمة السورية على الأردن، وأكدت للمفوض أن الأردن وصل فعليا إلى مرحلة الإشباع الحقيقي، وعلى عدة محاور. أولا، الإشباع من الناحية المالية وقدرة الموازنة على إدامة الخدمات التي نقدمها للاجئين السوريين، وإيقاف التراجع في الخدمات والمكتسبات التنموية لمجتمعاتنا الأردنية من جراء هذا الضغط في 4 سنوات متلاحقة. إشباع أيضا لأنه هناك ضغط كبير على البطالة